Here's two specific instances of people who managed to get their arteries down to literally zero in a CAC score that's a measure of how clogged they are in layman's terms. I've also got a scientific paper to look more technically into what's going on here. And as a bonus, I've even got a CT scan of someone's artery that was up to 99% blocked and had a heart attack to now being 100% completely clear. Stay tuned if you don't want to miss that. And let's take a look at how they did it and how you can do it as well. Now, there's no special supplement for me to sell you. There's no treatment for you to be my patient for. And there's no cost at all involved in the entire process. However, when you see what they did to achieve it, don't make the serious mistake of just copying them starting tomorrow. You could get pretty bad problems with your body if you do that. So stay tuned if you want to know how to actually apply the same principles, but as safely as possible. The first example is from Nutrition with Judy. Judy has her own YouTube channel and social media where she talks about topics to do with nutrition, as you can guess. Here's where she started. She had anxiety, depression. I think she had an eating disorder for like a decade. She had a poor social life. She had a psychotic break. She was on antipsychotics and antidepressants. She was even forced to stop nursing her own 6-month-old child and put into a 3-day lockdown. I'm sure there's possibly more too. But if you fast forward a few years, this is where she is now. She's got no depression, no eating disorder for like 5 years, no medication, no issues nursing the subsequent child, and a much better social life too. And the side effect of all that was this. A CAC score looking at calcium levels in the coronary arteries, showing that she got literally zero. Now let's take a look at another case, Chris Whitey. Chris also has some social media if you'd like to go see his stuff, and I'll leave a link to both of these guys in the description below. For a similar amount of time, Chris was also doing the same thing as Judy. Then he had a CT coronary angiogram. This is another type of scan. You can use this to again, give a good idea of how much calcium is in the coronary arteries. And guess what? He scored a big fat 0 again. And I've also got some stats for Chris's body, which I'll have my editing team, Longwave Digital, get up on screen here. What's interesting with Chris, though, is this. His cholesterol is multiple times the recommended range before statins are recommended. And indeed, his GP actually suggested statins to him, even though he was metabolically incredibly healthy. His fasting glucose level was only, I think, 4.8. His blood pressure was fine. His waistline was fine. His triglycerides caused no alarm. And he even said, he's in the best physical and mental shape of his life. For me, this shows what a stupid level the medical field has reached nowadays. Here's a patient with fantastic health and an enviable CAC score, and the GP recommends to intervene with a highly profitable drug. Have we lost our minds? Why are we medicating when there's no problems? Shameful is that for me. But before I go off on a rant, let's take a look at a scientific paper that discusses these kinds of findings. And the paper I've got was published a few years ago and suggests that what I and many others have been saying is possibly correct, that cholesterol is not something to be afraid of. In fact, there were associations in the study of very high cholesterol and positive health outcomes, such as an absence of diabetes. Now, is this study perfect? No, definitely not. Even though it supports my personal views and those of others, I have to be honest. Remember that association doesn't equal cause and effect. However, with that being said, it's an association that I would expect to find between the methods that these guys both used and both the outcomes seen in the paper as well as the outcomes they both showed on an individual and identical basis as well. So what was the method? Well, before I tell you, please understand there are safe and unsafe ways to implement it yourself. So please try to do it the safe way if possible. And I'm going to go through that in this video as well. In fact, if you're interested, I go through it in my online school group where I teach live multiple times a week, topics exactly like this. If you're interested in joining, there's a link in the description. So this is the method that Judy posted. And I want to show you her post because it's important you see her own words and not my, interpretation. Chris was similar. He's been carnivore for 5 to 7 years and strict carnivore for 9 months before posting his results. Now, again, I'm going to point out some flaws here. How do we know that that's exactly what they ate and not just something they've made up for social media? Well, if we're being scientific, we don't. It's the same for any study in nutrition because they largely rely on memory recall for surveys. However, due to the amount of patients, I've personally seen clinically, as well as others in the space, I believe them when they say this is what they ate. Of course, if you don't want to believe them, that's fine, and it's entirely up to you. And this video probably isn't for you anyway. Now, why is there an unsafe way of doing this yourself? Well, your gut bacteria are used to eating whatever you're eating now, and changing diet suddenly can cause a lot of digestive problems. And you may not have a medical history that allows you to make the exact same changes as them in the same way. And you might be sensitive to things you didn't even know because you've never done this kind of diet before. So, in essence, transition slowly over 2 to 6 months, depending on where you're coming from. A patient who comes to me and is pretty meat heavy already with not a lot else, I can help transition over, say, 2 months. If I have a vegan who's eaten that way for years and years and also has health issues, then I might take 6 months to transition. As well as that, start cooking with solid fat instead of liquids. That means instead of vegetable or seed oils, you should use things like butter, ghee, animal fats. And this is because of the chemical differences between saturated and unsaturated fats that have either a normal or unhealthy outcome in our bodies. Now, these are just 2 points. If you want to do the same as the people mentioned in this video, there are so many nuances in transitioning that depend entirely on the individual and what's available to them, that I can't make a full guide here for absolutely every single person. But these first steps are enough to get you started. If you want to learn more to help you use this method to have good artery health and much more, I suggest you look to people like Coach Stephen Thomas, nutritionist Richard Smith, Judy from Nutrition with Judy, Dr. Anthony Chafee, Dr. Ken Berry, Dr. Sean Baker. There's so many fantastic people in the space who know far more than I do. Bart Kay as well, Professor Bart Kay. And I thoroughly recommend you check out both them and, if you're interested, my online school group too. And before I go, if you think this method only works because the arteries may not have been that blocked to start with, then check this out. Dr. Stephen Hussey, who I'll leave a link to in the description, also employed a low-carb, animal-based diet with total cholesterol levels over 350 in American units, and specifically LDL over 200. And he did some lifestyle changes too, which you can look at if you want to follow. Initially, he found this on a scan. His artery was blocked up to 99%. Then he did another scan 2 years later and found this. He went from 99% blocked to no disease whatsoever. Ask yourself why we need statins and how cholesterol is supposedly bad for us.